Ayan mga kaibigan, good afternoon, especially kay James Skylar na nanonood ngayon ng Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season. I'm GG.Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
You're about to watch a match between Team IPT versus Team TT Sports Manila Eagles. And again, good evening kay James Skylar. Pero bago lahat, let's see ang ating schedule for tonight's matches.
Alright, so today on Saturday, March 15, 2014, we'll have the Manila Eagles go head-to-head with Imperium Pro Team. Now, of course, Imperium Pro Team right now leading the standings with 7 points in total. They'll have two matches today against Manila TT Sports Manila Eagles. So we'll see who will be on top after today. Alright, so on Sunday, we'll have the MSI Evo GT versus Mineski. Alright.
Medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng mga sabi, pero mga kaibigan, schedules for standings natin sa ating Pro Gaming Series. Imperium still 7-6 or ang kanilang points dito 7, Wargods 5-6, TTE Sports Manila Eagles 4-6, Diamond 3-6, Mineski 1-4, MSI Evo GT 1-4 as well. Two bottom team, Mineski at MSI Evo GT. Ang maglalaban ngayon ay team ng Imperium at ng TTE Sports Manila Eagles. So if ever na manalo ang team esports, Manila Eagles dito, they will have another advantage sa score nila. Pareho sila magiging 7-7.
That's right.
Team ng IPT.
That's right. And if IPT even wins one game today, they will continue to hold the top spot. So let's see how IPT will perform this. Of course, we know both of these teams are currently in the GPL. Of course, the season of the spring season has ended for both of them, but with their performance so far here in the PGS, we do expect them to probably resurge again in the GPL next season. Alright, so
for our head-to-head match mga kaibigan, pero syempre bago ang lahat, good evening ulit kay James Skylar. Tignan natin yung ating head-to-head match sa ating laban sa ating let's see muna ating head-to-head match. Pero bago ang lahat, good evening din kay GM Kit na kung nasan ka man ngayon, nasa puso ka pa rin namin. Head-to-head match, meron ba tayong okay, wala tayong head-to-head match unfortunately. Pero yun nga mga kaibigan, TTE Sports Manila Eagles versus the IPT. Anong masabi mo dito, Jay, sa dalawang matchup na to? Both teams nasa ating GPL. Anong masabi mo sa laban nila?
Well, actually, even though we don't have any head-to-head, I'd like to point out both top laners of Manila Eagles and IPT, Yux and Rebenga, have recently changed to the top position. They used to have different roles, so it will be interesting to see how Rebenga will match up to Emily Yux, especially Emily Yux. She's been doing really well in the top lane in the GPL, and Rebenga hasn't been doing as good recently.
Mga kaibigan, habang naghihintay pa tayo ngayon na mag-start yung laban, pero I think dapat mag-start tayo ngayon. Looking at the lineup of Team IPT, we have Light, Hero, Rebenga, Fear, and Shadow. Take note mga kaibigan, magpapalit ng role si Rebenga and si Light. Light will go in the top lane, and Rebenga will go in the mid lane. Hero still in the jungle at ang kanilang AD carry na si Fear. Shadow for the support the player dito. For the Team Manila Eagles, Chok in the top lane, Emily Hate in the jungle, Emily Yux in the mid lane, Marky in the AD carry role, and TG para sa kanilang support. Mga kaibigan, game muna tayo ngayon. If a match between Team TT Sports Manila Eagles versus the IPT or Imperium Pro Gaming team.
Alright, so we're now in the pick and ban phase for the first game, Manila Eagles versus IPT. On the blue side, of course, we have the TT Esports Manila Eagles, and on the purple side, we'll have Imperium Pro team. Alright, so first ban coming from Manila Eagles is Nidalee, very strong AP champion used mostly in the mid lane, of course. And let's see what IPT will decide to ban out. Looks like they decided to ban out the Lee Sin, which most of the members of Manila Eagles are actually very proficient at. Of course, we have Emily Canut and Emily Hate both using Lee Sin previously, and we've seen how effective these players have been on the Lee Sin.
This is actually the same format, if I'm not mistaken. Tama ba? Top lane yung nasa taas? We have Yes, mga kaibigan, for one, makikita natin ngayon na nagkaroon ng mga swap lanes between Team Manila Eagles at Team IPT. IMLE so far, oh, hindi sila, why, bakit nasa taas sila? Okay, so far ngayon, we have Team Manila Eagles, same pa rin na kanilang mga role, mid lane, yung nasa taas dito, Emily Chok still in the mid lane, Emily Hate in the jungle, Emily Hughes sa kanilang top carry, Marquis still in the AD carry, TG for their support player, mga kaibigan, for Team IPT. Same pa rin tayo, IPT Light para sa kanilang AP mid carry, Hero for their jungle na Rebenga sa kanilang top, of Fear, kanilang AD carry, and Shadow for their support player. Looking at the bans, Nidali Ziggs Yasuo, on the other hand, for Team IPT, pinag-iisipan nila kung sino isa pang last ban nila, but they banned Lee Sin dito and LeBlanc. We all know na for the jungle, Lee Sin is a very good pick for Team Manila Eagles sa laban na to. And that would give him the advantage if ever na siya yung kukunin niya.
Yes.
So, looking at the bans of Team IPT, they're more aware na kailangan nilang iban dito or kailangan nila i-shutdown yung smiting skills itong si Hate. Pagdating sa jungle role, he's one of the best jungle player dito sa ating League of Legends, sa Philippine competitive scene. Emily Chok picked Lulu as their first champion dito, possible na gawing support, possible na gawing AP mid carry, depende sa kung sino yung magiging lineup nila dito at kung paano nila i-sustain yung kanilang objective sa laning phase na laban na to.
Yeah, so Emily Chok deciding to pick up Lulu, most likely of course, he will stick with that champion in the mid lane, while IPT picking up Gragas and then Hero picking up the Thresh for their team. Now Thresh of course is a very strong champ, especially with the death sentence. Once he catches somebody off guard, pwede talaga mag-turn around yung game. Or could even pull an advantage if they're ahead.
And actually, at the picks of IPT dito, they have Gragas and Thresh for their first two champion. Gragas most probably going for the top lane, but possible din na gawin mid lane nila ito. We all know na nagkaroon na ng nerf itong si Gragas. Hindi siya ganun ka-effective in the top lane being a tanky champion. But still, he is so viable pa rin.
Yes.
He's still effective, he's still a champion na kaya pa ding tumangkin ng mga laban dito with his body slam, with his explosive cast, with his barrel roll, and then yung kanyang drag and rage against his opponent. Looking at the lineup of Team Manila Eagles, they pick Severe and Renekton for their top and AD carry dito, mga kaibigan. Knowing na si Renekton or si Yuk sa isang player na talagang magaling gumamit ng Renekton dito, he usually pick item like Tiamat, Brutalizer, Last Wisp, after the Brutalizer, we get any item na kanya maging objective of winning the laning phase dito. He can also get yung kanyang Ravenous Hydra, upgrade niya dito against his opponent. Sustain wise, he's more on advantage for his champion dito. And looking at the IPT, we have Thresh, Elise, and Draven. Who do you think sa champion nila at talagang magiging effective against team ng Manila Eagles?
I'm not sure if Gragas will go to the top lane, so it could still be an AP champion. So we still have to wait and see who IPT will lock in as their last champion. Like you mentioned a while ago, si Gragas naman, he's still viable as a tank in the top lane, but because of his nerfs to his two skills, he's unable to trade very well anymore with the top laners, especially the tanky top laners. So we'll have to see how IPT will decide to go with this. Although right now, looking at their lineup, they have a very strong composition. Both Gragas, Elise, and Draven are able to do a lot of damage, even at the early levels of the game.
Looking at the lineup of Team Manila Eagles, so they pick Wukong and they're thinking kung si Blitzcrank nga ba yung kanilang gagawing support player or support champion for the lineup of Team Manila Eagles. But yes, they picked Morgana instead of getting Blitzcrank dito. We all know na kagabi, sobrang effective ng Blitzcrank ni TG dito.
Yes.
A very good hooks from TG. Sustained the advantage hanggang sa end game nila against team na SGS last night. Pero mga kaibigan, IPT once again picked Draven. We all know na si Fear isa sa mga player na magagaling gumamit ng Draven dito. Nakita natin itong ginawa nila against team ng HQ. Almost there mga kaibigan to win the match between team HQ. But IPT Fear can't win the game alone sa laban nila against team ng AHU. Looking at the lineup, we're still seeing na pinag-iisipan nila kung sino yung kanilang magiging last pick na possible na si Kale dito. Do you think if ever na si Kale ang gagawin nilang AP mid carry, possible kasi na maging mid si Light, mid si Kale or mid si Gragas, possible mag-swap dito.
Yes, they can basically swap naman lanes naman. They're both proficient either in the top or in the mid lane because they're very good duelists in the solo lanes. So it's really who they want to go up against in the other side. Like for example, for Renekton, if a Kale went against a Renekton, definitely Kale should have an easier time harassing Renekton, especially on the later levels. Unlike Lulu, she has a very strong harass at level 1, so it'll be much harder for either Light or Rebenga, or Gragas rather, to go against Lulu at the first few levels of the game.
Manila Eagles have Lulu for their mid lane. We all know na when it comes to the poke damage output, Lulu have the advantage against Kale. Kale is a melee champion. And once hanggat hindi pa nagma-max out yung kanyang third skill dito, hindi niya ganoon na ma-utilize yung kanyang champion.
Yes.
Kasi, yes, she can be a ranged champion, pero ang problema sa kanya, meron siyang cooldown.
That's right.
Almost 5 seconds yata kapag hindi ka pa level, hindi pa to max level. At take note, kahit max level pa to, meron pa siyang around 2 seconds na cooldown dito bago mo ma-secure ulit yung another third skill na ma-active mo sa kanya.
That's right.
Unless meron kang blue buff. That would give you the advantage of just doing yung kanyang third skill dito and then use it ulit.
Yes,
kasi,
or she could probably pick up a cooldown reduction item like Nashure's Tooth if she decides to go that way. But most of the time, they rather go for more damage than that. So wouldn't it be surprising if they don't go that build route?
Actually, may nakausap akong pro player before. If I'm not mistaken, it was JLC. Na nakausap ko siya about kay Kale. He told me na hindi mo na kailangan maglagay ng any cooldown reduction item or runes masteries for Kale. Kasi sobrang lambot niya. Kailangan niya mag-focus sa damage or kailangan din niya mag-focus on the other hand sa kanyang armor and magic resist. Kaya niya i-sustain yung kanyang laning phase dito kapag gano'n yung ginawa niya.
I see.
We all know na meron din siyang divine intervention niya, and then yung kanyang reckoning attack, he can slow his opponent, and yung kanyang heal sustain in the laning phase. Pero against kay Lulu, we all know na si Lulu with the Glutter Lance, damage output against his opponent, the minion wave, yung pag-clear niya ng kanyang minion dito, advantage against kay Light. If ever na masustain ni Light yung kanyang laning phase dito na mag-survive siya, and then a gank coming from hero, mahirapan si Lulu dito or si Chok na manalo sa laban niya against kay Light.
Yes, that's right. Actually, it's interesting. IPT picking up 3 champions all actually could use the help of the blue buff, since all 3 champions are very mana hungry all throughout the game, especially without that many mana regen items being built. So it'll be interesting to see who IPT decide to give the blue buff. Of course, most likely it would be the mid laner, which would be probably IPT Light on the Kale, but it could still be given to either Gragas or the Elise if ever they choose to do so, especially if they do a buff steal on Manila Eagles.
Yes, at the lineup of the Manila Eagles ito in the bottom lane, Sphere and Morgana against kay Draven and Thresh dito. Who do you think will dominate the bottom lane? They didn't ban Lucian, but they didn't pick Lucian as well. And alam natin lahat na si Marquis is a player, he usually picked Lucian as his champion.
Yes.
But now he picked Sphere and Morgana for their support. Who do you think will dominate the bottom lane?
It's hard to tell, but the interesting pick about Manila Eagles is they provided a lot of protection from magic spells and damages. As you can see, Morgana has her black shield, Sphere has her spell shield also that can block magic damages and spells like the Thresh Hook, of course the Cocoon from Elise, the Slow coming from Kale, even the Barrel from Graga. So there's so much magic protection that will be provided to Marquis on the Sphere. So it really depends on how good IPT can time their skills to catch Marquis off guard, and if they are able to burst him down, they should have no problem clearing out the rest of the team. But
yes, okay.
If IPT is unable to execute it properly, I feel like they'll have a hard time, especially with the ultimate coming from Sphere, giving the mobility to the Manila Eagles members.
Nakapanood na ako ng ganitong klase ng lineup for Team Manila Eagles. Lulu and Wukong, very effective lineup.
Yes.
Once na mag-initiate si Wukong dito with the Cyclone, followed up Wild Growth from Lulu.
And the movement speed boost as well, allowing Wukong to be able to hit all the members of IPT without any problem.
Yes, sa lahat ng mga ka-tune in pa lang, you're watching the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season. You're watching a match between Team IPT versus the TTE Sports Manila Eagles. Pero bago ang lahat, if ever na mawalan ka ng shells or mawalan ka ng RP, gusto mong bumili ng champion, gusto mong bumili ng skin, bagong skin, anong gagawin natin, Jay? Siyempre, meron tayong e-pins from GameX. So, e-pins, hindi yung e-pins na e-pin. E-pins, or letter E, capital E, at pins. Sa lahat ng mga smart TNT and Sun Cellular subscribers,
yes,
you just visit the epins.gamex.ph. After mo magpunta sa epins.gamex.ph, you will select the game you are playing. You are playing League of Legends.
That's right.
Select the Garena Shell denomination you want to purchase and click add to cart. Syempre, after nun, enter your smart TNT or Sun Cellular or Sun Mobile number and you will receive a confirmation code. After mo ma-receive yung confirmation code mo, text the verification code to 3161 and after nun, you will receive your e-pin. Ganun lang kadali. Hindi mo kailangan pumila, may pagsabayan sa pagbili ng shells dito. Magkakaroon ka na ng iyong RP just by using your load.
That's right. So if ever you run out of load and you have a smart Sun cellular or token text number, there's no need to worry anymore, since all you have to do is use your load and go to the website to follow the procedures that GG.Sphere just mentioned, and you should be able to load up so you can buy those awesome skins from League of Legends.
Yes, so eto na mga kaibigan, game muna tayo ngayon. IPT vs TTE vs Manila Eagles. On the blue side, we have TTE vs Manila Eagles. On the purple side, we have IPT. No, sobrang gandang laban to. Two teams in the GPL na represent ngayon ng team ay magtutunggali for the first time sa ating pro gaming series. So, who do you think will win this game, mga kaibigan? Itago nyo muna yan dahil ngayon, hindi pa natin alam.
Alright, so looks like no level 1 invades today. Actually, so yes, the past few days in the GPL, we've seen a lot of early level 1 invades, no? This especially is the closing out of the season. People want to take advantage of exploiting the level 1. But here we see, since both IPT and Manila Eagles know and respect each other, and also Manila Eagles knowing that IPT would be ready for anything that Manila Eagles may have done, and IPT not wanting to risk a level 1 since they are already on the top of the leaderboard in standings. They could lose that if they lose 2 games to Manila Eagles, so they have to play very careful but play very smart at the same time.
Yes, mga kaibigan, looking at the lineup of Team IPT and the Manila Eagles in the early game, I would give the advantage dito sa team of IPT. Looking at their lineup, they have Gragas in the mid lane. They have, Gragas in the top lane, IPT in the mid lane. IPT light with that damage output. We all know na Kyle can't do anything against kay Emily Chok in the early part of the game kasi Lulu is a champion na sobrang layo ng poke damage niya. She doesn't need to initiate inside with that healthy picks, and then paggamit ng kanyang glitter lance, kaya-kaya niya i-dominate yung kanyang kalaban dito. But if IPT light can do something sa pag-sustain ng kanyang laning phase or sa pag-gank coming from hero dito, kaya-kaya niya manalo sa laban niya against kay Lulu.
Yes, that's right. Alright, so here in the mid lane, Kale versus Lulu, of course. Kale actually is a pretty strong champ, like you mentioned. She is restricted by her cooldown, but Lulu has a lot of poke damage, so we'll have to see if Emicho can outmaneuver IPT Light here in the first few levels. If he goes a little bit, gets caught off guard by IPT Light on the Kale, it could be very dangerous for him. As you can see, IP Shadow being very aggressive on Emily TG there. TG having to back away and allowing IPT Shadow to put down a ward at the very end now. It looks like none of the members of IPT has any teleport, so we won't be expecting a teleport from behind the members of Manila Eagles from behind, but just to make sure that if any the jungler of Manila Eagles comes from the bush from behind, won't be able to catch IPT members off guard.
Napaka-tricky ng lineup sa bottom lane ng Team Manila Eagles dito. They have Morgana and Severe, and kayang ma-utilize itong Team IPT ang kanilang kalaban dito. Yes, Shadow and Thresh, and we all know na Morgana ay pang-counter kay Thresh dito. But once na mag-miss yung kanyang Dark Binding, hindi sila makakagawa ng paraan para ma-sustain yung kanilang laning phase in the bottom lane. Kasi yun ang pinakamahalagang skill para dito kay Morgana against kay Thresh. And if that skill missed, possible na mag-dominate kagad dito si Fear and si Shadow. Mga kaibigan, in the top lane, Gragas versus Renekton. Napanood na natin ang laban na to. Emily using Renekton as well against team ng CM Storm, Diamonds dito. And they dominated that team fight, mga kaibigan. Gaya na sinabi dito, ignited ngayon si TG. TG goes on with that ignite from Shadow. First blood for Fear. And that gave them another advantage, mga kaibigan. They're chasing a Shadow, Marky in the bottom lane, yet they have to disengage. A very good team coordination for Shadow and kay Fear in the bottom lane. And ito yung mahirap for Team Manila Eagles sa lineup na nasa bottom. Yes, alam natin na meron siyang spell immunity, pero Shadow can just use yung kanyang death sentence to initiate. Pwede niya gamitin yung kanyang flame para pumasok dito, and then ubusin or hintayin na mawala yung black shield or dark shield from TG sa laban na to, and that would give them the advantage na manalo sa mga team fight like what happened earlier. Alright, gaya na sinabi ko yung top lane kanina, yung nangyari na itong laban, and yes, a very good Dark Binding once again ATG to get the life of Fear in the bottom lane.
Yes, that's actually what's making Morgana being very popular pick now, especially in the pro teams, is because aside from the spell shield or black shield coming from Morgana, the Dark Binding range is very, very long, so it's very easy to land the Dark Binding, especially if you're really good at it. So once you catch, of course, somebody with a Dark Binding, you can provide protection still for your AD carry and help him with a Tormented Sword would be able to do additional damage to that member who gets caught in the Dark Binding.
Yes, mga kaibigan. So far, we're seeing na 1-1 score sa ating laban ngayon. Kasi wala ganong laban na nangyari dito. Wala ganong ganks from the jungles. Yung 1-1 score na yan, nagaling in the bottom lane. It's kind of unusual na makita natin ngayon na nag-dominate si Light in the mid lane against kay Lulu. And I think ito yung maganda sa playstyle ni Light. He's more on aggressive style ngayon against kay Lulu or kay Chok dito. At si Chok nahihirapan siya i-sustain yung napakaganda pag-initiate from Rebenga in the top lane. Yes, he got another kill. He picked up another kill in the top lane dito. Renekton can't do anything and he can't respond dun sa ginawang performance dito ni Rebenga by flashing in the body slam.
Yes, actually, good job coming for Rebenga, showing some dominance for the first time in a while now in the top lane. So, like we said, Emily used to be doing a really good job with Renekton, especially Renekton on the top lane, but of course he's been using other champs as well. So, it's quite surprising that Rebenga did win that, but nonetheless, props to him for doing a good job. Alright, so Emily TG using that Black Shield, protecting him from IPT Shadow's death sentence. Now, the death sentence, even though if it's caught by the Black Shield, he may not be able to slow or like cripple the champion, but he can still use the follow-up to go near to the champion. So the spell shield isn't really, or the Black Shield isn't really 100% effective, but at the end of the day, the Black Shield allows you to still move, which is very important, especially because of the crowd control provided by that sentence.
Do you think na makakagamit pa rin siya ng death sentence dito papalapit?
Yes, he can.
Sure it's possible?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, sige. Looking at that kind of a skill for Thresh dito, if ever na ganun nga yung mangyayari, they still have the advantage since...
Well, the reason why it's not that strong is because when he goes in at level 6, he's gonna use his...
The box.
The box, exactly. But the thing is, Morgana has an ultimate that can slow down and provide more crowd control compared to IPT than Thresh. So because of that, of course, a spell shield from Marquis, he can use that to block the box, to get out of the box, and then easily kite the other two members while they're being slowed and stunned once the ultimate of Morgana ends. The only problem Morgana will be facing is she'll be tanky enough to take the damage of IPT Fear on Draven by the time he hits level 6.
Actually, at this point of time, we're seeing na after nung nerf dun sa ating Doran Shield, wala na gaano support na gumagamit ng Doran Shield dito as their first item. Looking at the item of Shadow in the bottom lane, he picked up his Ruby Stone first, or Ruby Crystal, and then followed up with that Sight Stone as soon as possible na nakakuha siya ng gold dito to build that item. At yun ang malaking advantage siya dito in the bottom lane. Kaya niya i-dominate ang kanyang lane phase dito, mga kaibigan. Naghihintay si Emily Hate. And he was about to use his invisible, mga kaibigan. Yes, he have to flash in, initiate a good death sentence, mga kaibigan. It almost enough to kill another champion dito. He have to use his Cyclone, getting the life of IPT Fear. He was ignited by Shadow dito. Emily Joke just in time. Use that Wild Growth. Double kill for Emily Hate dito. A very good job for Team Manila Eagles. Good response for the team. And they're about to get the first series sa laban na to. I mean, first dalagan of this match to dominate the team IPT.
Yes, Emily showing great performance yesterday and today. The rotations coming from Emily Chok have increased by leaps and bounds since the start of the season. Now, as you can see, the timing of Chok was just perfect to save the Emily 8 from dying there, and because of that, they were able to pick up a 3-kill for nothing exchange. So good job for Manila Eagles for picking up that gold lead, including the Dragon as well that he took down right now. Alright, so Emily Chok back in the mid lane. As you can see, while Chok was away, IPT was just farming his lane. He decided to go help, but he was just came a bit too late and wasn't able to do anything about it anymore.
Actually, yung kanina in the bottom lane, almost in favor sana ng IPT with that death sentence just in time from Shadow dito to get the life or to get Wukong's head. Unfortunately, a good response from Team Manila Eagles dito with that Lulu respawn in the bottom lane. Cyclone from Emily Hate dito. He had to use his flash in and then dash into Draven, and that Fear can't do anything at di siya makapag-respond sa mga pangyayari ngayon. He goes down ng mabilisan dito. And bukod doon, sa Wild Growth pa na nangyayari dito from Emily Chok, another advantage for their team.
That's right.
Pero ngayon mga kaibigan, IPT can still win this game. Wala pa tayo ganun gaano sa ating mid game and we are playing League of Legends. IPT is still so far doing their job very well, especially in the top lane dito. Rebenga dominating Yux dito with his CS na, yes, one advantage lamang yan. Number shows, pero mga kaibigan, they're chasing dito si Hero, but 3 members of Team IPT ay rumispunde. IPT Hero's about to go down, but they have to disengage. Flash in mga kaibigan from Emily Chok dito. He was too aggressive, but it wasn't enough mga kaibigan to chase down one champion of Team IPT. Yet they have to disengage and go back to their laning phase sa laban na to.
Yes, I just like to point out that I feel like maybe Emily Hughes may have picked up the wrong item here.
Eto na mga kaibigan, death sentence from Manila, from Shadow dito, trying to get the life of Emily TG, a flash out, he got caught by that the box, one more hit from IBT Fear dito, IBT Shadow have to use his flash in para makuha ang isang buhay from Team Manila Eagles. Will he be able to kill another champion in the bottom lane mga kaibigan, or yes, he have to use his flash in to chase Shadow dito, one more hit, yes, with that spell shield mga kaibigan, he got another kill and safely disengage in the bottom lane mga kaibigan. Ivory Rebenga and Shadow, a hero in the top lane. They got the life of Emily Hughes. And I think, gaya ng sinabi mo kanina dito, TG, kailangan niyang gawin dito, kapag nag-initiate sa kanya si Thresh, he can just use yung kanyang SS dito, o yung tinatawag nating Soul Shackles.
That's right.
Which gave them the advantage kaya in the bottom lane. Unfortunately, with the damage output from Fear and Shadow, hindi kayang saluhin lahat to ni Morgana.
Yes, exactly what I was saying. Although the idea or the logic coming from Manila Eagles using that combo fixed perfectly, but the aggressiveness and the damage output coming from Fear and Shadow might be too much for them to handle. Until Morgana doesn't complete some armor items like probably a Zonda's Hourglass, he'll definitely have a hard time in using her crowd control to prevent IPT Fear from closing out on Severe. Alright,
looking at the score, 5-4 ang ating score ngayon in favor pa rin ng Team Manila Eagles, pero ang ating gold advantage ay hindi ganun kalaki, knowing na yes, they picked up the first dragon of this match, and so far laning phase in the bottom lane, advantage for Fear with that CS, 13 CS ahead against kay Marky dito. Pero looking at the kills, 302 for Marky in the bottom lane. On the other hand, for Draven dito, 1-1, and I think a gank coming from a hero in the bottom lane who's about to engage. At mukhang magkakaroon dito ng team-fight. Mahirapan dito ang Team Manila Eagles since nasa top lane pa lang, mag-recall pa lamang si Emil Hate sa laban. I mean, si Emil Hate, yes, sa laban na to.
Yeah, so actually, with the 3 kills that Severe has picked up already, he has already completed his Bloodthirst. As you can see, he's now adding some stacks to it. Of course, once he max stacks the Bloodthirst, it will provide him additional 100 damage and 18% lifesteal, if I'm not mistaken. So this will definitely give him a much bigger advantage over Draven until Draven completes his Bloodthirster.
Ito na mga kaibigan, ang hinahantay nating teamfight mangyayari dito in the bottom lane. 2 minutes left bago mabuhay ang ating Dragon. And so far, naghihintay pa rin. Body slam once again from Rebenga in the top lane. Emily Hughes is being dominated sa laban na to. And he is using Renekton mga kaibigan. He have to use, or he have to get yung kanyang Spectrals code in the laning phase dito mga kaibigan, and with that medyo magic resist from the Sunfire Cape and the body slam from Rebenga dito, but I think nahihirapan siyang survive ang kanyang laning phase dito. 0-3-0 ang kanyang score, 2-0 naman para kay Rebenga.
Yes, looks like Rebenga has been practicing that Gragas and he came really prepared for this matchup. And in terms of what Yukes is doing,
mga kaibigan, death sentence from Shadow dito. You have to use the box. A good response from Emily. A flash in as well mga kaibigan, but he got caught by one champion of Team IPT dito. Responde mga kaibigan from IPT Light, trying to get the life of one champion. He ignited mga kaibigan as the hero, but it wasn't enough with that divine intervention from Light. They have to disengage in the bottom lane. It's a 6-7 score in favor na naman mga kaibigan from Team IPT dito. But Emily Chok have to respond in the bottom lane with that boomerang from Marky dito. They got the life of one champion once again. IPT Fear nangangarib ang kanyang buhay, but with the cocoon from hero dito, they have to disengage. One more hit mga kaibigan. Barrier has been popped out. It's a double kill for Marky in the bottom lane.
Yes, good effort from IPT Hero, still able to use the cocoon to stop Chok in track. But while that was happening, Rebenga rotating here to the mid lane, picking up another third for his team, basically closing out the gold lead that Manila Eagles have in terms of kills, but because of the 2 towers that Rebenga has taken down, helping his team recover that gold deficiency. Alright, so it looks like Manila Eagles are planning to do the second round of the game. As you can see, Chok spotting IPT Shadow, placing a ward. Shadow now clearing out that ward coming from Emily TG there, or Emily Chok rather. And here we can see members of Manila Eagles grouping in the middle lane, trying to pick up that middle third, but IPT Hero picking out dropping the pink ward to make sure that IPT or Emily Hate on Wukong would not escape since he was invisible.
IPT Shadow, mga kaibigan, taking so much damage in the mid lane dito, mga kaibigan. Explosive cast from Rebenga. A good use of spell shield from Marky dito. Dark Binding is missed out from team members of IPT dito, mga kaibigan. They're getting the second dragon of this match. And Team Manila Eagles can't do anything since wala silang smite. Wukong still down pa rin siya hanggang sa mga pagkakataong ito. And with that, they pick up the second dragon. Ang ating goal difference in favor pa rin sa Team Manila Eagles, pero almost 400 na lamang ang kanilang difference dito. Yeah, tumahabol ang team ng IPT sa laban nila against team ng Manila Eagles.
Yes, that dragon evened it out. Actually, even though with Manila Eagles picking up that turret in the middle, Manila Eagles now grouping here in the Baron area. They're spotting out IPT here with the stun coming from Yux. Yux chasing Hero, but decides not to continue the chase since he doesn't have enough vision or map vision on the other side of the jungle of IPT, and looks like Hate giving over his blue buff to Emily Chok, so Chok can continue doing very well in this game so far. 0-0-4 on Emily Chok. No kills yet, but with 4 assists that were very crucial so far in this game, allowing Manila Eagles Marky to pick up several kills in this game. Alright, so Emily Chok clearing out that pink ward that caused the death of Emily Hate a while ago after taking down the third. IPT Light being a little bit passive here, not chasing down Emily Chok with the blue buff right now. IPT Rebenga damaging Yux a little bit with the body slam and a few auto attacks and a slight barrel to slower the attacks just in case Emily Yux on Renekton decides to engage him again.
Ito na mga kaibigan, 18 pa rin ang score natin in favor. Wala pa gaano nagkakaroon ng advantage pagdating sa killing. Pero looking at the goal difference, lamang pa rin ang team ng Manila Eagles dito, pero almost 700 lamang. Sandali lamang ito para mahabol from the team members of IPT. But yet again mga kaibigan, still IPT Rebenga dominating the top lane dito. As lahat hindi nakakalam mga kaibigan, alam nyo ba, trivia lang to alam nyo ba na itong si Rebenga ay dating member din ng Team Manila Eagles? Siya ay isa sa mga member ng Team Manila Eagles nung first batch ng MLE.
The original Manila Eagles, Rebenga was part of that group nga with, who was he with? Start, if I'm not mistaken, who was used to be called Dynasty, and VYY. Who else was he with?
It was VYY, Dynasty, and some, I forgot the other members dito, pero si Rebenga haven't lost yung kanyang playstyle dito. Mga kaibigan, Dark Binding from TG in the bottom lane, trying to get the life of Hero dito. He is taking that Vision Ward, and with that in the bottom lane, we are seeing na item-wise, Sunfire Cave for Gragas dito. Yux have to get yung kanyang Giant's Belt, and instead of getting the Tiamat, he have to adjust yung kanyang item.
Yes, actually, he's having a really hard time this game since, as you can see, wala pa siya nabobuong items. Puro mga tingi-tingi lang ng mga itang big item. And because of that, Rebenga is able to take advantage of this. And because he's way ahead in CS and of course in level, Yux is having a really hard time going on one-on-one with Rebenga right now.
And actually, MLE Hate is trying to sustain the other lanes dito instead of helping the top lane. Kasi alam nila lahat na hindi nila mapapatay dito si Gragas. Even though they want to respond to the top lane dito, kahit anong gawin nila, Gragas is a very tanky champion with the Sunfire Cave, with the Ninja Tabi dito, and yung kanyang Doran Shield, plus yung kanyang Dragon Rage pa with the 20% damage reduction from his opponent. I don't think makakaya nilang patayin itong champion na ito kahit mag-Cyclone pa itong si Emily Yux. And I think kapag ginamit niya yung kanyang Cyclone in just one champion, sayang yung cooldown nito and sayang yung effectiveness. Sana nito kung gagamitin niya sa mga teamfight na mangyayari.
That's right. Alright, so IPT, let's take a look at the CS. The top lane, actually it's pretty even right now with Gragas and Renekton with 133 CS. In the bottom lane, actually Severe and Driven also pretty close, just 2 CS advantage. The only clear advantage in CS here is Kale or IPT Light on Kale with a 30 CS advantage. But on the other hand, looks like Yux was able to, Wukong was able to pick up the missing CS from Lulu while he was gone, so giving him a 40 CS advantage over the Elise. Alright, so in terms of gold right now, Manila Eagles with a 1.2k gold lead advantage right now. And in terms of kills, it's pretty much even, including in towers. So it's a pretty interesting game. There's no snowballing here right now. It's all gonna really come down to the team fights. When they complete a few more items, I expect probably a Baron dance sometime soon. Rebenga and Yux just looking at each other there in lane. Nobody waiting probably for other members to join here.
Actually ngayon, like what I've said kanina, 20% yung damage reduction kay Rebenga, but ngayon 16% na lang with the nerf. after nung recent patch natin mga kaibigan, a gang from light dito, almost enough to get the life of one champion ng Team Manila Eagles mga kaibigan. Ay, GG in the bottom lane chasing Fear. Fear goes down with that dark passage, almost enough, but with that knock up from Emily Hate in the bottom lane mga kaibigan. Emily Yoke still struggling for his life, but they have to use Domino Shadow, have to use the box, chasing from team members of Manila Eagles with that boomerang from Marky dito. They got the life of another champion of Team IPT mga kaibigan. Still 2 champion of Team IPT goes down in the bottom lane. And looking at the lineup ngayon of Team Manila Eagles, they still have 5 members and they're trying to get the second or third in the bottom lane.
That's right. Alright, so it looks like the 4 members of Manila Eagles all grouped here. Emily Yukes forced to defend the top tower all by himself. Actually, Kayla decided to recall and join the members here in the top lane. As you can see, IPT Rebenga was able to destroy the third. Yukes was defending here in the top lane, and Yukes decided to go back and pick up a few more items from his Renekton so he can get a little bit more tankier.
And mga kaibigan, in the top lane, still, Rebenga still dominating the top lane dito. Emily Yukes can't do anything at makapag-responde sa ginagawang performance ngayon ni Rebenga in the top lane. Looking at the champion picks, last time nanalo si Renekton against kay Gragas. Pero ngayon, nananalo si Gragas kay Renekton. And take note, hindi na siya basta-basta nananalo. He's being dominated in the top lane dito. And I think, sa larong League of Legends, hindi mo masasabi na itong champion na to ay sure na pang-counter sa champion na to.
Actually,
it's all about the gameplay.
Gragas is winning the top lane, particularly in this game, is because of the Elise. Elise was able to gank the top lane a few times at the early part of the game, allowing Rebenga to totally snowball against Emily Yukes here in the top lane. While Wukong naman has been very effective in the bottom lane. As you can see, the kills that they were able to tunnel into Marky right now on the Severe 703. All the kills coming from Wukong's help there, while Elise was able to help Gragas on the top lane to pick up a few kills for himself.
So far ngayon mga kaibigan, 10-8 ang ating score. 200 na lang ang goal difference ngayon sa laban nito. Almost 100 na lang mga kaibigan. Dark Bind from TG dito. But with that bad, si Tama Rebenga can disengage in the top lane. And they're about to get the first search in the top lane dito. Knowing na alam nila ngayon na possible na medyo nahihirapan talaga na sobra si Yukes in the top lane. And they have to do something sa ginagawang performance dito ng team IPT in the top lane. And they have to get the first tier turret. If ever na makuha nila to, mababawi nila yung nawalang advantage para kay Yukes sa top lane dito. And once na mangyari to, alam nila ngayon, napapansin nila ngayon na sobrang nahihirapan dito si Yukes. 2 turret na nakukuha sa top lane. At wala man lang nakukuha dito si Yukes mga kaibigan. Turret still on damage dito sa top lane and they're getting this first tier turret. Explosive gas from Rebenga has been used to at least clear a champion dito. But no one got caught with that, with that explosive gas. Walang nahuli dito mga kaibigan. Death sentence from Shadow. He got a minion, but Team Manila Eagles trying to sustain this laning phase at talagang inaabangan nila ang kanilang pwestuhan dito, trying to wait in that bush sa laban na to. So far, dalawang mid carry ay nasa mid lane. They're trying to sustain their laning phase and farm as much as possible. Barrel rolls being popped out by Rebenga in the top lane, trying to clear the minion wave. Pero mga kaibigan, take note, he's an AD carry champion. He's not getting any AP sa laban na to, so he can clear any minion with that explosive, with that barrel roll only in the top lane. Mga kaibigan, nag-respond din ang ating mga AP carry. Magkakaroon na ng team fight dito. Lulu or si Chok and si Light responding in the mid lane, but Light still have to farm in the mid lane dito to get the second third turret in the mid lane. But mga kaibigan, Team Manila Eagles have to secure their objective of initiating the team fight first before Team IPT dito. Dahil kapag naunahan sila with the explosive gas, mahirapan sila makapag-set na maayos dito.
That's right. Alright, so Morgana a while ago throwing several ghost binds, but not catching anybody off guard there. So IPT doing a good job of avoiding those binds coming from Morgana. And then it seemed to be that IPT Light was a little bit undecisive there, going to the top lane, then deciding to go back to the mid lane. But since Manila Eagles were able to apply enough pressure, they were able to take down that top third coming from of IPT. Alright, so now in terms of thirds, it's now even again, 3 thirds for each team, as you can see. Manila Eagles still have their outer third in the bottom lane. So Emily Marky and Yukes, or TG rather, were able to do a really good job of snowballing that bottom lane, including protecting that their first outer third here in the bottom lane.
So for again mga kaibigan, we are seeing at 10-8 ang ating score, and I think unti-unti lumalaki ang ating goal difference in favor of Team Manila Eagles, getting that first tier turret in the top lane. Still, Emilio's having a hard time to sustain his laning phase dito, but he got his Sunfire Cape na ngayon, and with that pickaxe, I think he will go for the Tiamat na, or just go for another Banshee's Veil or the Spirit of Shine sa laban na to, since alam niya ngayon sobrang nahihirapan siya against kay Rebenga. Pero alam din lahat na trabaho ng mga top lane dito, ay bukod sa bigay ng damage output against their opponent, mag-shove lamang ng mga AD carries ng mga AP carry dito sa laban na to.
Yes, that's right. Alright, so here we see Yuk spotting Rebenga all alone here, trying to pick up the double golems. With the help of Emily Hate, they were trying to take down Rebenga, but Rebenga, being very tanky already this late of the game, was able to take the damage and of course escape from that gang coming from those two members of Manila Eagles.
Sa lahat ng makaka-tune in pa lang here watching the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season at sa lahat na nagtatanong dyan, wala po tayong losers bracket sa ating PGS. Laro tayo ditong group, double
round robin.
Yes, double round robin. So lahat ng teams dito aiming for their points lamang para makakuha ng advantage sa kanilang standings dito mga kaibigan. But in the mid lane, we're still seeing na nagkakaroon ng teamfight dito at stalling na kanina nila mga laning phase. And if ever na makuha nila ngayon itong second tier turret ng mid lane, for the next 1 minute and 30 seconds makukuha nila ang ating Dragon for Team Manila Eagles. So, if ever na makuha ito ng Team Manila Eagles, lalo lalaki yung kanilang goal difference in favor of their team. Pero kapag nakuha ng IPT dito ang kanilang second Dragon of this match, bawin-bawi sila sa laban na to. Mawawala yung goal difference in favor ng Team Manila Eagles at mapupunta to sa IPT.
Yes, Manila Eagles doing a very good job right now, pushing down here in the middle lane. As you can see, very coordinated movements coming from Manila Eagles. TG throwing out her ghost mines on the members of IPT, while Marky getting a spell shield or dark shield or black shield coming from Garena to protect her from the burst damage coming from IPT Rebenga just there. And now Marky again using Sphere very effectively to take down the third of IPT.
Yes mga kaibigan, this is like the second time na ginagawa ng ganitong klaseng performance ng Team Manila Eagles, trying to stick together as much as possible against their opponent. At ganito yung ginawa nila kahapon sa team ng SGS, kaya sila nanalo. At maganda yung ginagawa nilang performance dito. Kung mapapansin mo, kapag nagpatuloy yung ganitong klase ng galawan nila, Team IPT can do anything kasi unti-unti nawawasak yung kanilang second tier turret in the mid lane. On the other hand, looking at the lanes, nagpupush yung top and bottom lane ng team IPT dito. IPT have to do something mga kaibigan. They have to initiate. Rebecca have to use body stamp. Ang Cyclone mga kaibigan from Emily Hay dito. Getting the life of team members of IPT. IPT late was left behind with that intervention for one member of their team. Double kill for Wukong dito. Emily Hay doing a pretty good job mga kaibigan. Rebecca still initiating. They have to disengage. Yes mga kaibigan. It's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Manila Eagles. Almost enough to get the life of Emily TG. Buhay na ang ating third dragon sa laban na to. 39 ang ating score with the second third turret and another dragon objective for Team Manila Eagles.
Yes, a 3-for-1 exchange and now a 3k gold lead plus a little bit more with the dragon pickup coming from Manila Eagles. Definitely, I don't see IPT being able to get there in time. As you can see, Marky doing a good job of bursting down that dragon really quickly with the help of Hate and TG. Alright, so it looks like the members of Manila Eagles will recall now. Of course, Sphere or Marky on Sphere will continue to pick up the minions here in the bottom lane, while Emily Chalk goes on and pick up the blue buff for himself here in their blue side. Alright, so Emily Chalk as well going back to base. It looks like IPT will now attempt to put some wards here in the Baron area, and we may see another team fight come very soon here near the Baron area. So let's see what Manila Eagles will do here. Of course, Baron, of course, as we all know, it's a very dangerous place to battle, especially it's a very good objective to bait out opponents, especially if you're winning or losing.
Yes, ito yung sinasabi ko laging disadvantage pag ginagamit mo si Gragas as your champion sa top lane or sa being isang AD carry dito. We all know na si Gragas ay sobrang tanky champion. Wala tayong kailangan questionin doon. Sobrang talagang tanky niya. Kaya niya mag-dominate sa mga laban dito kahit sino kalaban niya, kahit si Renekton pa yan, kahit si Jax ba yan, with this tanky advantage against his opponent. Pero ang problema dito, kapag umabot tayo ng late game, like what is happening ngayon, nahihirapan siyang gumawa ng advantage sa kalaban niya. Sobrang tanky siya. He is surviving na team fight, but he can't do anything to give a damage output against your opponent. Body slam lang kaya niyang gawin dito. Kaya niya rin gawin yung kanyang explosive cast, pero yun lang kaya niyang gawin dito.
Yes, and the reason why he's not being effective, even though he's very tanky, is because of all the protection they're able to provide for Sphere. Wukong and Morgana doing an excellent job of, and even Renekton providing, be able to peel off the members of IPT. So when Gragas goes in, most of his magic damage, of course, will be blocked because of the black shield. Plus, of course, he's able to lifesteal the most of the other damages or the melee attacks coming from Gragas. Alright, so here now we can see Manila Eagles grouping here in the top lane. Gonna take another outer third. Right now we have Rebenga and Shadow trying to protect it by themselves. There we see
Death sentence mga kaibigan from Shadow dito, but no one from Team IPT can respond to that team fight. Emily is still using his dash in para mag-initiate for team members of IPT, but take note mga kaibigan, Cyclone is still up. So if ever na magkaroon ng initiation from their team, you'll gain another advantage dito. Napakaganda performance from Emily Hate. Kung mapapansin mo dito, once na use yung kanyang first skill, I mean yung kanyang third skill dito, by dashing in nag-assist his opponent. Cyclone as well, lahat ng champion ng Team IPT dinadaanan niya.
That's right. Alright,
And so, he's focusing especially kay Fear sa laban na to.
That's right. Alright, so here we can see the members of IPT not sure whether they want to push the mid lane or stop or go to the Baron pit. As you can see, Manila Eagles realizing that their bait is not working on IPT, as IPT is totally ignoring them standing in the Baron pit area.
Ito na mga kaibigan, on the hunt mga kaibigan from Marky in the mid lane. Shutdown ngayon si Elise. Elise goes down. 2 champion of Team Manila IPT dito goes down na mga kaibigan. But Raven is still up. They're chasing a champion dito. He's taking so much damage mga kaibigan. Focus fire na ngayon ng Team Manila Eagles for IPT Fear dito. But the game has been paused. Sobrang grabe ang nangyayari dito. Sobrang intense ng laban. And I think nagkaroon ng problema ang team ng IPT. 2 champion from their team goes down, but nag-resume na tayo ulit. Eto na ang mangyayari dito. IPT Fear will be able to get out of this against this 4th champion or another disadvantage once again mga kaibigan. Just in time with that intervention, turn around of this game, of this match. It's a 3-4-2 exchange, naging in favor pa ng team IPT.
Yes, and it looks like IPT may attempt a 3-man Baron right now. Of course, Morgana still around there to try to spot on the members of course, with Severe. And looks like it's going to be a 2-man Baron in case it's going to provide some distraction. As you can see, Kale now about to collapse on the last 2 members.
Ito na mga kaibigan, IPT. Marky versus IPT Fear in the Baron mga kaibigan with that boomerang from Marky dito. He is now legendary at nabawi niya yung disadvantage kanina sa laban. He also stopped that Baron fight from team ng IPT dito. Marky is almost enough just to give a chunk down damage for team members of Manila Eagles. I mean IPT dito. And with that, nabawi niya yung mistake nila kanina. It's a 3-4-3 exchange pa sa nangyaring team fight kanina.
Alright, so Marky actually picking up the Banshee's Veil now, probably to prevent even more magic damage coming from the Kill, Elise, and the Gragas, of course. So right now, definitely Severe can negate a lot of the damage coming from IPT, but he still has to be careful, especially with Draven still being able to do a lot of damage, especially on the one-on-one base. Of course, the reason why Marky won that one-on-one with Draven was because Baron was also helping Marky a little bit there, chunking down the life of Draven, including shredding some of his magic resist and armor, allowing Marky to have an easy win over Draven. Alright, so Emily Hicks catching or spotting a pink ward here in the behind the red buff of IPT here. And IPT Fear also actually picking up that Banshee's Veil, trying to prevent those magic damage coming from MLTG, the Dark Binding, of course, and of course the Tormented Soil.
And actually at this point of time, we're seeing na sobrang dami na ng item advantage itong si Marky against kay Draven, but with this item alone, kaya-kaya na mag-survive ni Fear dito. With the Bloodthirster, with the Phantom Dancer, with the Banshee's Veil, and that BF Sword, kaya-kaya niya i-survive yung mga mangyayari team fight dito. Kaya-kaya niya bigyan ng pressure ng Team Manila Eagles sa mga nangyayari team fight. At kailangan din ngayon na gawin ni Light dito ay focus yung kanyang intervention sa kay Fear lamang.
That's right.
Yun na nangyari kanina, and they at least got a 2-kill advantage once again against team ng Manila Eagles. Ang ating score ay 16-13 in favor pa rin sa team members of Manila Eagles. Ang ating goal difference ay lumalaki ng lumalaki. Ngunit gumagawa pa rin ng team ng IPT ng paraan para mahabol nila yung nawalang goal difference sa kanila kanina.
Right, IPT Rebenga right now, as you can see, is super tanky right now, already picking up Sunfire Cape and the Thornmail as well, including of course the Spirit Visage, giving him a 10% cooldown reduction, allowing him to spam his spells a little bit more effective. And because of the heal he has from his passive, Spirit Visage also stacks with that, allowing him to heal a little bit more as well at the same time.
Alam mo Jay, looking at the item of Wukong dito or si Emil Hate, he is not more focused sa kanyang tankiness. Kumuha siya ng Last Whisper, kumuha siya ng kanyang Iomus Ghostblade. You know, it's kind of unusual na makita natin ganito ang mga jungle natin. Kasi usually yung mga jungle natin kumukuha talaga ng tanky item eh.
Yes. He's actually relying on Emily Shock's ultimate to allow him to be a little bit more tankier in those team fights.
To survive the team fight.
Exactly. And of course, the reason why he's probably going for all his armor penetration and damage is so that he's able to burst down Draven. But of course, Draven at this point already has so much damage and lifesteal that he's now able to survive the burst damage coming from Wukong.
Wise decision from Team Emily dito to get the third turret in the mid lane. And it's about time mga kaibigan, team fight dito. Explosive gas has been popped out by Rebenga in the mid lane. Marky have to use his on the hand with that spell shield. A reckoning missed by IPT Light dito. He is about to use his intervention for fear mga kaibigan. He is being free hit dito but they're chasing Marky. Marky is about to go down. IPT Fear goes down. Emily hate and Rooks mga kaibigan. Focus fire kay IPT Fear dito in that team fight mga kaibigan. Rebecca was about to go down. Double kill for Chok dito and IPT Hero have to use his rappel and with that dive in from Emily Hughes dito 4-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Manila Eagles.
Yeah, so I feel like Manila Eagles should be able to close out this game with only one member left and it's only the support champion coming from IPT. And with the damage coming from Marky and of Chok right now, as you can see, they're able to do a lot of damage to the Nexusters and looks like Manila Eagles should be able to close this game any second now. As you can see, Marky and TG taking out the inhibitor or the Nexus of the game.
A very good job for Team Manila Eagles winning this game against team ng IPT. In that kind of performance, I am kind of impressed sa team members of Manila Eagles ngayon.
Yes.
Nagbago yung playstyle nila after yung mga recent losses nila sa mga team sa GPL.
That's right.
At ngayon, sobrang laki ng pagbubunga.
Yes.
We are seeing na that kind of gameplay na nag-stick sila lagi. Focus in the ganks in the bottom lane. Focus sa ganks dito in the middle and bottom lane lamang. And yes, hinayaan nila dito si Yux na mapugo against kay Rebenga. Pero ang nangyayari dito, other lanes, looking at the stats, 8-0-11 for Marky.
Yes, Marky not dying a single time because of the protection coming from both Chok, Hate, and TG, doing an excellent job feeding Marky and providing a lot of damage also at the same time allowing him to easily take down the members of IPT. Another thing I'd like to point out is that Manila Eagles is very good at taking objectives this game. As you can see, they make a decision on which objective they want to take and they do it. No hesitation and they all work in a team and go together. So because of that, this is a big improvement they have shown in the past few days. Have definitely showed that Emily is definitely gonna be a top team again in the Philippines if they can continue doing what they're doing. So
sa lahat ng di nakakalam, ang Pro Gaming Series po ay road natin to GPL. Kung sino yung manalo dito sa ating Pro Gaming Series will go to the GPL next season. At paano kayo makasali sa Pro Gaming Series? Sumali kayo ng mga challenger tournaments at maging challenger kayo, top 2 challenger for the ranked team ay magka-qualify for the season 5 of PGS for the next season. So sa ating hindi nakakalam, once again, just visit the esports site, esports.garena.ph for the PGS, esports.garena.ph/PGS. Diyan lahat ng information na kailangan niyo about the PGS. Again, mga kaibigan, sa lahat ng mga ka-tune in pa lang, you're watching the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season. Meron pa tayong laban mamaya ulit. Emily versus IPT once again. Change lamang sila ng kanilang sides. Purple team at blue team. Mamaya-maya na yung mga bati-bati natin. Again, I am GG.Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
Thank you very much for watching. Kita-kits tayo ulit after a few minute break.